This is Tyrus Bain. Welcome to the Definition of Anarchy channel, where today, on Thursday, May 13th, 2021, I'm going to talk about the Officer Tatum and what he believes about Tulsi Gabbard and Major Williams. All right, so he did a video about why Governor Newsom will win California again. And I was very confused when he was talking about Bruce Jenner and how the Republicans are pushing Bruce Jenner and all this other stuff and how it's going to be detrimental because Bruce Jenner is a tranny, but he says that he's against biological men competing in women's sports. And that would go against what the Democrats believe, right? Like he would lose a lot of support, in the Democratic Party based on that stance, right? And how just because, he's a tranny, he's automatically not going to get conservative support. But, and I kind of agree with them on that, you know what I'm saying? Because people are very polarized. When you are bought into the left-right paradigm lie, you get caught up in little bullshit like that, right? What they call identity politics, you know what I'm saying? Oh, well, he's a tranny, I'm conservative, blah, blah, blah. But look, this is what I got really confused about. And what's up, Shot Killings? He went into Tulsi Gabbard. Like, first of all, Tulsi Gabbard, I think she's in Hawaii or something, right? Last I checked. And he said something about her being in California. Like, what are you talking about, right? This is the biggest problem. Tulsi Gabbard is a Democrat, okay? And Brandon Tatum is talking about Tulsi Gabbard having a shot when she's not even in the running, right? She's not in the running. Why are you bringing her up as a shot? And then I'm like, wait, there is another Republican candidate out there out here in California from Pasadena, where I'm actually working right now. And he's running for governor. His name is Major Williams. He's a Republican. And I'm like, why is he not even mentioning Major Williams? And this is what I was feeling. This is what I was thinking about when he did his panel with ABL and a couple other cats. They were talking about the gubernatorial race in California. And they were talking about how Bruce Jenner is like, a better option. And I'm like, well, what about Major Williams? Why aren't they? Because you know me, I don't buy into the left-right paradigm lie, right? Y'all know I don't believe in that shit. But I'm like, why isn't he talking about Major Williams? Why aren't these people mentioning Major Williams as an option, right? And then in this last video, he was bringing up Tulsi Gabbard. And then he's like, well, Major Williams, he don't count. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? How does he not count? And then I'm thinking about how Fox News had done an interview with what's her name? With Bruce Jenner. And I'm like, well, Fox is considered to be a conservative news site. I'm like, why aren't they interviewing Major Williams? What the fuck is going on here? What is wrong with Major Williams that no one is talking about this dude, right? And then I remember one time somebody brought Major Williams up. I think it was ABL or Brandon Tatum, and they were talking about his stance. He said something about police reform, and I'm like, okay, that's probably where, in their eyes, he fucked up, and he's black, right? And he's black, and I'm like, why aren't they pushing this black conservative, this black Republican, as the governor of California? Why aren't they pushing him as a candidate? You know what I'm saying? Because imagine if Brandon Tatum supported Major Williams, if ABL supported Major Williams. Imagine that. Imagine the kind of support he would get. Imagine if Fox News interviewed and gave Major Williams a platform. You know what I'm saying? How that would do well for Major Williams, right? And I'm like, okay, he doesn't count. Why does he not count? And so I was interested in his policy positions. So I looked up his policy positions. Okay, I'm gonna get into Major Williams's policy position, and then I'm gonna talk about Tulsi Gabbard's policy positions. You know, even though she's not running for any form of office right now, like she doesn't have like a site where you can go see what her mission would be as governor or as a senator, because she's already in the position that she's in. What's up, Black Spring Autumn? Many have been exposing for his campaign spending via FEC. So what's up with his campaign spending? These conservatives grifters got to cut their losses. They do really. Caitlyn Jenner is a Republican governor. What was he doing? Was he spending money on clothes? What was he doing? Because, I mean, if that's the case, why not go after Trump? Why aren't they shitting on Trump for his campaign spending, right? You know, taking all this money, you know what I'm saying, to help fight against this, whatever he was doing toward the end of his, you know, his thing where he's trying to raise money to fight, to push this voting illegalities or whatever. What was it in November of last year? I believe it was having to do with him losing oh man, sorry about that, y'all. Work stuff. So, all right, let me see what they're talking about. Exactly. Young Ripper even said yesterday that Trump spent the most out of any president. Yeah, I mean, look, California Underground is exposing them. Black Spring Autumn, I don't know, man. You know me though, like, I don't play that left-right paradigm bullshit. They're all full of shit. They're all scandalous. They all spend our money, right? Even when they're in government, they extort us. They lay taxes on us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about him spending money and marching with BLM. I don't care about none of that. That shit don't work with me. Let's see. Let me see. Major Williams. He spent money during the he spent campaign money. So how is he supposed to eat and live? How is he supposed to, you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to dress nice, have nice clothes. He's supposed to look good. This is what you're spending your money on. You know, when you donate to a candidate who's running for an office, you know, you're spending more than just on their words and flying in a jet, right? You're spending more than on that. They have to eat. They have to buy clothes. They have to look fresh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They have to put on a show. This is what you guys are paying for. When you guys donate to candidates, this is what they do. Major Williams campaign spending. Now, is he buying drugs with it? What's he doing? What's he doing with that money? And then I don't care about him marching with BLM. Maybe he believes Black Lives Matter. Maybe he believes in the movement. Now, as an organization, is BLM full of shit? Yes. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, come on. Okay, let's I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna be fair. It is what it is, and it's not what it's not. Yeah, exactly. There's alleged female accuser who rejected his advances. That, you know, people are gonna come out with shit when you run for office. It's alleged, right? Was he convicted? Is she filing charges? What is she doing with that information? Alrighty then, let's see. Wait a minute, I just had, what the hell? Major Williams. He don't count because he's a black man spending money. That's what it is. They don't like that shit. Major Williams exposed. Let's see the expose. Alrighty then, let's see. I mean, Trump spent all your money. If you got donated to Trump, when with the Stop the Steal situation, he spent a shitload of money fighting that. knowing damn well it wasn't gonna go in his favor. Where's that money at? And when these candidates, when they, what happens with the money that they get when they don't win? Do they get to, they have to pay you back? People gonna spend money. Let's see. This is a YouTube shit. Okay. I'm not seeing anything from an official. I'm seeing a YouTube video talking about he's living in a lap of luxury. You know what I'm saying? Did he buy a house with the money? I mean, is there an FEC investigation? Or is that just people talking? Let me see. FEC investigation. Let's see. On spending. Let's see if something comes of that. I'm not saying anything about an FEC investigation. I'm not saying anything about that for Major Williams. Now, if somebody, if you have something, throw that thing up in the link. Throw a link in the description. I'll be glad to look at it. But from any official site, I put in Major Williams FEC investigation for his spending. I'm not saying anything about that. I saw one YouTube video come up about his lap of luxury spending. California Underground has the videos and exchanges between. Okay. Let's see. California Underground. So is like an audio recording? Is it text messages? What's going on? Do you have a link or something? Because I'm not seeing anything from California Underground. Is it a YouTube video? California Underground is on IG. Videos of Williams spending. Oh, defending himself against Tatum. What does that prove? I'm just trying to understand. Because Tatum is the one I'm talking about who shat on Major Williams. Let's see. Is there proof that he's spending campaign funds to live in a lap of luxury? Is there proof? Or are we just going, is this conjecture? You know, because he's a black man, you know. Let's see what Major Williams has done for a living. Let's see. And I only really care about this because, you know, he said, Brandon Tatum said he would vote for Tulsi Gabbard over Major Williams. And that kind of threw me for a loop. Let's see. And I'm going to get into why it threw me for a loop. I don't care about him marching with BLM. That's irrelevant to me. Let's see. Major Williams profession. What does he do? What does he do for a living? He is an entrepreneur, a philanthropist. Okay. Let's see. Major Williams, born in Dallas, Texas, grew up. Let's see. What does he do for a living? That's not what I wanted to know. Well, I mean, entrepreneur, CEO. Major Williams brand, the founder of Major Kicks for Kids, marketing specialist. Sound like some money making shit to me. Sound like some shit that make you a lot of money. He has a knack for business as a teenager, so he was hustling since he was 14 years old. Earned the first dollar selling liquid car refresheners at the local car wash. Eventually expanded his business to mowing grass for his neighbors for $20 a yard. Sound like he a hustler. Sound like he out there, he got his hands dirty. Sound like he like to go to work. Sound like he like to work for his money. Sound like he's not looking for handouts, as some might say. Let's see. Major, a competitive athlete level, soon started advising his NBA friends about marketing, branding, and sponsorship opportunities that culminated in them grossing millions. Let's see. That sounds like, if you're getting a cut of that, if you're getting a cut of millions, that sounds like at least hundreds of thousands to millions. I don't know about that. I don't know. Let's see. So he's in finance. He's a business owner. You know what I'm saying? He negotiated multi-figure social media partnerships, music label contra, products partnerships, branding, and appearance opportunities. I mean, he has a family. He has kids and a wife. You know what I'm saying? But he marched with BLM and spent campaign funds. Who doesn't? What are campaign funds for but for spending? I don't see nothing. I would think that I'd see something. B. Tatum is a hypocrite. That's what's going on with B. Tatum. B. Tatum is not really a conservative. He's a hypocrite, and he doesn't believe in freedoms. And I'm pointing that out with this here with this here video. It could be both, but it went on for 2 weeks. What's what went on for 2 weeks? I mean, he spent money for 2 weeks. I don't know. I haven't heard much from Williams in weeks. I'm not sure, but who they support, but it's driving supporters away. You're not sure who supports. Because listen, sounds like Major Williams grew up knowing the value of hard work. That's what a conservative's like, right? Trucker Titanal, I bet he is, man. I bet he is the shame of Tucson. So I'm gonna get into some of the policy issues of Major Williams. All right. So let's get into economic or budget. Our budget shortfalls continue to threaten the livelihood of the state. We need to reform how our budget is drafted during times of low tax revenue. The state should have flexibility to cut back on discretionary expenditures. We must start from scratch and focus on core services. All right, he's being, he wants to be fiscally conservative. Let us review all the businesses, blah, blah, blah. The same shit. Startup businesses should be given a break on fees for the first year. I like that, while they get established. And this should encourage the creation of businesses. Now, I don't believe in the government taking anything from business. Like, you don't, what are you extorting me for at all? So, I don't owe the state anything. If I own and operate a business, I started myself. Okay. I put in the work. The state didn't do shit for me, but I have to register with the state, my business, and then I have to give them taxes for what? What am I doing that for? Everything that I do to operate my business, I'm spending my money on. You're not spending your money on me. The government the state didn't give me shit to start my business. That's how I feel about it. Government reform and audit. We must conduct a thorough forensic audit of all state finances and dealings. Yes, we do. And publish the results in an easily accessible form. These must be conducted regularly and will help deter bureaucratic waste. Agreed. We also must work to make Sacramento as transparent with taxpayer money. How about stop taking taxpayers' monies? If you want me to vote for you, say we will stop taking taxes from the people, period. We do not, you know what I'm saying? All funds that are given to the state will be voluntary as seen fit by the people of the state. That's what it should say. And it should say, if your kids don't participate in this school program, they should not be forced to, guess what? Pay taxes for a school. Let's see. Gaming Withstand says, I do think Tulsi Gabbard is a good person, but I'm not going to vote for her. She's full of shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She's a veteran, and I'm gonna tell you why. As a veteran, saying certain things that she said, she's full of shit, and I don't like her. And I'll get into why. No one really even knows their home because they have to pay taxes and something. Exactly. When I'll support a candidate when they say, well, in all taxes, we'll abolish the Treasury, we'll abolish the IRS, and then we'll go to a voluntary system where if you believe in the projects that we want to put forth as the protectors of your rights, like even if it has to do with infrastructure, this, that, and the third, if you feel it's necessary and you think it's a good thing to do, okay, we need to like it's common sense, we need to rebuild that bridge. And we need to know about every dime that goes into rebuilding that bridge. And if we save money on it at the end of it, you know what I'm saying? That money goes back to the people. That's how it should work. And then if you're going to take our money and put it into interest-bearing accounts that you get money on, then we need that dividend. All right, crime in the state is always something that needs reform. The state must look always to cut the expenses without cutting the number of police officers on the beat. I disagree. But see, this is something that the Officer Tatum should agree on. The state must look at ways to cut its expenses without cutting the number of police officers on the beat. I mean, he should be coming in his pants because of that, Officer Tatum. But, he marched with BLM, so fuck him. Let's see. Police, public safety is also not just about cops. It's also crime prevention. To meet our COP annual event, it will be developed to bring more community engagement with law enforcement to build trust. That's what's something he don't like. The Officer Tatum doesn't feel like the police officers should bring themselves so low to have a relationship. We don't need your trust. You're our subjects. That's what Brandon Tatum thinks. Just comply or die. That's as far as his relationship. But he feels the relationship should go between the people and the police officers. Comply or die. There should be no accountability. Should be none of that. So I can see where Brandon Tatum gets all fucked up about that. All right, energy. Whatever. Y'all know. Energy. I don't care about that. It's all a bunch of bullshit. All right, so this is what I love right here. And this is what people like the Officer Tatum and other conservatives should love, right? This is something that you guys should be applauding. We believe it is unconstitutional for government officials to mandate vaccinations, and our platform will actively educate voters on the harm of the one-size-fits-all philosophy. Sounds good to me, right? That's some conservative should get behind. But he marched with BLM, so fuck that. That's irrelevant. He marched with BLM, so all that shit goes out the window. Well, let's get Bruce Jenner in there. I support our law enforcement agencies. The police reform. I support our law enforcement agencies. That should make Brandon Tatum hard. Reform is needed in many areas, and we will address these issues, guidelines, and training to ensure officers and the public are protected. That's where he went limp, where it says and the public are protected. No, he just wants the officers protected. When you when you put effort into protecting the public, it becomes a problem for people like Brandon Tatum. So I can see where he went impotent on that. I do not support defunding the police. Oh, boing, I'm back up now. But I am open to alternatives to fund programs that empower our communities. Went down again. Oh, it's shit, man. I can see you got blue balls fucking with this guy, huh, Brandon? Too much balance. It has to be. You have to be extreme. Too much balance. Too much balance will fuck you up. There's some shit about good gig workers. Don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Second Amendment. Ooh, this is the one that gets me hard. I support our constitutional right and our right to bear arms. As the next governor, we will end the gun roster restrictions and ban on magazines. Yeah. Our administration will work towards open or concealed carry statewide, in addition to reducing red tape and wait time. See, this is where I have a problem. Reducing red tape? How about eliminating red tape? Eliminating wait time. Eliminate it. For what? Why is it there? Eliminate, destroy, get it the fuck out of here. We don't need no red tape at all. We don't need no wait time at all. Fuck that. We believe our state will experience a huge decrease in crime and a rise in safety. 100%. Because an armed society is a polite society, my friends. And this is what he stands for. This is what he says it stands for, what he'll work towards. Trump didn't even say no shit like this, right? I support our Second Amendment. But then you go ahead and bump stock bans, which was, by the way, a couple weeks ago. That shit was thrown out of court. That shit was thrown out. No more ban on bump stock, by the way, because it's unconstitutional. Your boy Trump did that. The Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum, is full of shit. You mad because he marched with BLM, allegedly, supposedly? Cause I didn't know nothing about that. But, I mean, by all accounts, I mean, this right here. I support our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. As the next governor, we will end the gun roster restrictions and bans on magazines. Our administration will work towards open and concealed carry statewide. We know how California is. Very bold. This is very bold to say, running for governor in the state of California. But it's a lot more people receptive to it now because of what went down last year. You know what I'm saying? What went down last year, you know, with the lockdowns and all that stuff, the lack of trust in the government, that the government will be there for us, whatever. So, you know, this makes a lot of sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Tulsi Gabbard is a gun grabber. Tulsi Gabbard would call for magazine bans. Look at her state in Hawaii. Has she worked on making that even in any more of a freer state for the Second Amendment? No. She thinks there's a such thing as a weapon of war. But she knows, she thinks an AR-15, or she says she thinks an AR-15 is a weapon of war. She should know better, because guess what? She's a combat vet. She knows better. She knows that AR-15s are not weapons of war. So when she pushes that bullshit as a veteran, I ain't got no respect for her. Tulsi Gabbard is a gun grabber. But you would take Tulsi Gabbard over this guy because he marched with BLM. I mean, what, like, come on, man. You know, and he supports the police. He just believes that there should be a better relationship between the police and the people. You know, people like Brandon Tatum, ABL just feels like, you know, there should be people reform. Let's see. No, Brandon Tatum did not march with BLM, Game of Withstand. They're saying that Major Williams did. Yeah, exactly. No taxation is the best. And how about give us all the money back that we put into you? Brent, the Black Bull Prison Pump, said, did you see the racist Big Lance video today? Nope, I have not. I'll go check it out. Game Instead says, here in Boston, the stupid government is always fixing the same roads and the sidewalks. Yeah, they do that here in LA too. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. And it's cheap. It's cheap to do it, and they get to pocket the rest of that money. That's that bullshit. The government is too big, but they will never decentralize. Not on their own. We have to force them to decentralize. We have to make them. A YouTuber by the name of Meet Kevin might run. Shit, I might run. Shit. Brandon is a paid hustler. Absolutely. So, okay, you're going to rock with Tulsi Gabbard. But she sat up there on that stage, right, during the debates, and said that she would, you know, provide amnesty and do all these things for illegals, just like everybody else on that stage did, right? I don't know if you remember that. You would take Tulsi Gabbard over Major Williams, but Tulsi Gabbard is a gun grabber. She said that she would push for universal background checks. She said that she would do mandatory buybacks for assault weapons and this, that, and the third. But she would take her over Major Williams. Major Williams said that he would restore our constitutional rights here in California to open carry, reduce red tape. I think he should eliminate it. But you would take Tulsi Gabbard over Major Williams. That don't make a lot of sense to me. He understands that if everyone can exercise their right to keep their arms, public safety will increase. And that's a fact. It's a fact. But you would take Tulsi Gabbard over Major Williams because, you know, she's military and you feel like she is pro police officer, right? Let's see. Let's see. You would vote for, you would take a supporter. You would take someone who would support the police no matter what they do over someone who would support our rights to keep and bear arms. Okay, let's see. Tulsi Gabbard. You think she's, let's see, on police reform. Make it make sense. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, I don't think she's said anything outwardly about police reform. Let's see, education, environment, gun control. Okay. Oh, matter of fact, let's get into gun control. Let's see where she is at with it. Gabbard has an F rating from the IRA. Well, I mean, it's the IRA. I mean, NRA. A 0% rating by the Hawaii Rifle Association and a 100% rating by the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. That means she's strongly against the Second Amendment. If she got 100% from the Brady campaign, woo! Gabbard supports common rifle weapons bans and universal background checks on top of the checks people have to take to get their permits to begin with. The New York Times has quoted Gabbard as saying, in an ideal world, we would listen to people instead of political action committees and the gun lobby and the NRA. That's where Tulsi Gabbard is on the Second Amendment. She doesn't believe in it. All right. Let's see. LGBTQ rights. Oh, did you know Gabbard is a member of the House LGBT Equality Caucus? Did you know that, Brandon Tatum? And has a 100% record in the Congress for pro-LGBT legislation from the Human Rights Campaign, a group that advocates for LGBT rights. Did you know that? Gabbard's position on LGBT issues has changed over the course of her lifetime. I bet it has, because she's a Democrat. Gabbard supported her father's campaign to amend the Constitution in Hawaii to give lawmakers the power to limit marriage to opposite-sex couples. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. The amendment was overwhelmingly approved by voters. As a Hawaii state legislator in 2004, Gabbard opposed and protested against Hawaii House Bill 1024, which would have established legal parity between same-sex couples in civil unions and married straight couples. Oh, that used to be her position. Okay. The bill was defeated in the House. Also in 2004, Gabbard opposed a House resolution to study the demographics and needs of LGBT students, saying that the study asking students questions about their sexuality would be a violation of their privacy, which is true. After the two deployments with the Hawaii Army National Guard in Iraq in 2004 and Kuwait in 2008, Gabbard said in 2011 that her stance on LGBT issues was changed by her experience in the military with LGBTQ service members both here and at home and while deployed, as well as seeing the destructive effect of having governments act as moral arbiters for their people. Yet, you want to restrict our rights to keep and bear arms. What is that doing? In 2012, Gabbard apologized for what David Knowles called anti-gay advocacy. Okay. When is she going to apologize about her anti-gun right policies? Will she ever do that? Did you know that, Brayden Tatum? She's got a 100% record with Congress of pro-LGBT legislation. And she's a member of the LGBT Equality Caucus. But I wonder, if she was part of the Black Caucus, would you have a problem with that? You probably would. And since 2013, Gabbard has been a member of the House LGBT Equality Caucus, and during her first, third, and fourth terms in Congress, as Congresswoman Gabbard co-sponsored the pro-LGBT legislation, signed an amicus brief supporting Edith Windsor's challenge to the Defense of Marriage Act, and supported the Equality Act to protect LGBT individuals, and other efforts to promote LGBT equality, including supporting the Restore Honor and Service Members Act. Now, here's the thing about LGBT equality. There's already a Civil Rights Act. There's already these other things that covers everyone, right? Protections for everyone. Protections against discrimination, this, that, and the third, for everyone. All right? I mean, it is what it is. This is who you would support over Major Williams, somebody who thinks that LGBT people don't have equal rights to everyone else. That's what you would go with. Okay, I got you on that. Let's see here. Okay, nothing really on. I don't know what her stance is on police reform. I don't know, but I mean, hold on. Here, we might have something here. Let's see. The killing. Wait, I think this had to. No, I don't think this has anything to do with Tulsi Gabbard. Nope. But y'all see what I'm getting at, right? Tulsi Gabbard. I really want to know if she said anything about police reform, because that'll really drive this home, right? Blasphemy Autumn says he will use his influence to prop up and or deflect candidates. Gabbard is absurd. Absolutely. But he'll take her over Major Williams. Wow. Police reform. Ding. Let's see. All right, let's see here. Here's a twat that she sent. But y'all see what I'm getting at, right? This is Tulsi Gabbard is who he would take over Major Williams, even though Tulsi Gabbard is clearly anti-rights, right? She doesn't support our rights to do anything, right? And why I say that is if she's against our right to keep and bear arms in any form of fashion, she's against our rights, period. Okay. Some wise words, calls to defund the police, will undermine serious efforts to bring about the true and lasting change we need.
10 days of protests, and then some Democrats started to, much more loudly call to defund or dismantle police departments in the wake of George Floyd's death. And, we even heard that as a chant on the streets here of New York yesterday. Here's what a few of your colleagues are saying.
What are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that overfunded police departments are defunded?
The Minneapolis Police Department is rotten to the root. And so when we dismantle it, we get rid of that cancer. That was Ilhan Omar and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And look, you have warned, Congressman, that language like this could hijack police reform efforts. President Trump has already seized on it. You know, he tweeted, law and order, not...
So if Tulsi, let's see what Clyburn says.
And
let's see what
abolish
Clyburn
the
says.
Police, the radical left Democrats have gone crazy. What do you say, Congressman, to Democrats who are raising this, who are saying police departments should be defunded and dismantled?
Well, if you've got a rotten police department, treat it like you would treat a rotten apple. Get rid of it. Police departments are needed. Police departments are...
They're not.
We want good police departments and good police. Now, everybody keeps telling me about what happened in Camden, New Jersey. I know what happened in Camden, New Jersey. They got rid of a rotten police department, and they turned over the policing to the county. Even hired some private people to do the policing. They did not defund policing.
What did he say?
They defunded.
What did he say? Even hire some people to do some private policing. What did he say? What do I be saying? Private police. Well, what are we going to do without the police? You hire private security. You hire private people out of your own pocket. Well, you pay for the police out of your pocket, right? Via extortion. But if you hire a private police force, then they work directly for the people. You understand what I'm saying? Private police force. They had to do that in Detroit for a while, right? Because the whole goddamn department walked out on them because there was no money. Detroit went bankrupt. So they had to get private police out there. It happens. There's multiple cities in this country where there's private police. But Tulsi Gabbard agrees with him for the most part, right? She says that those were wise words because she believes in police reform, right? Just like Major Williams does. So the issue is, I'm going to tell you what the issue is. Brandon Tatum doesn't have a problem with the campaign spending, all right? He's going to use that as like a vehicle to discredit Major Williams. What he had a problem with is him marching, allegedly, because I haven't seen it myself, with BLM. That's his problem. So he would bring in someone who's just as tyrannical as Governor Newsom. Just as tyrannical as Governor Newsom, because he doesn't like Major Williams because he marched with BLM. Let's see. Somebody called, and it'll probably disrupt this live. BT gives Candace Owens a pass, and she supports gay marriage. The only gay rider support is 10%. Game will stand you crazy, man. So, the Officer Tatum would take Tulsi Gabbard over Major Williams, even though Major Williams has policies that are, that involve a lot more freedoms for the people than Tulsi Gabbard. So that should tell you where Brandon Tatum's mind is in terms of, what he really thinks about individual freedoms and whatnot. Anyway, y'all get the point. I'm going to get off this. I'm holler at y'all later, man. Just like, share, subscribe, whatever. And, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Y'all been speaking your mind here in the chat. So I appreciate that. Much love. Like, share, subscribe. And I'll come back with something a little bit later. Peace.